Shabbat Shalom. We are now in the Tazria. Tazria is a very interesting word because sometimes I like to learn in the Hebrew language. I like to learn where the word comes from. You know, the root of the word, the shoresh. And Tazria comes from the word serah, that means seed. You know, and the translation that she conceived is not really what it really means. What it means is she had a seed, you know, and sometimes in the Hebrew language, the seed is not masculine or feminine, as certain theologians want to make it. You know, the seed means descendants, offsprings, children. That's what it means. But when we take it out of the context, and so good listening Dennis, what he's talking about, and how it's leading you to a very special understanding that where we are trying to take you by the hand, of course, in order that you understand that the Torah is the word itself doesn't mean nomos, like in the Greek language, law. Has nothing to do with the legalistic term. Has to do with the guidance, teachings, you know, how to do certain things, or how to do it, or which direction to take. That's what a Torah means. You know, has nothing to do with being legalistic. And that's the problem that the Western civilization has overshadowed or overtaken this beautiful Middle Eastern mentality. You know, I wish that all of us, we can think in Hebrew. Only Dudu here, I envy him in the right way, by the way, but that you can think in that way. Because you will take a lot of hocus pocus that I talk many times, things that they are not certain, they're only made up. And here, we are going to get in a subject that is going to be difficult because we do not have in the English language and other language a good way of translating. There are two words, tahor and tamei, tuma. Those words, they don't have really an appropriate translation, like the word korban or korbanot. You know, when they are translated as a sacrifice, it's not the meaning. It's what it means. No, even when we translate it as offering, we get very short to that understanding. You need to be Hebrew thinker, a speaker, to really grasp the idea. And it's very difficult to pass those ideas. Then, one of the things that I am trying to bring to you about the going to the semantics and go to the etymology of the word is to try to find in the time that we're giving, what is the understanding of what they convey and how we can put it for us today. Now, in this parasha, there is only two chapters, chapter 12 and 13. You know, then they're going to come the next parasha, Meksorah, and it's talking about two areas. The first one is about the woman when she gives birth and she has a child, the boy or the girl, the difference of timing, and timing to be away from the holy things or the sacred things. And here is where one of the greatest misunderstandings, even among the ultra-Orthodox religious people, has a totally misunderstood concept about tahor and tamei. You know, for example, only to give you an example, here is talking about that the woman who gives birth and is a boy is going to be 7 days like a nida. Nida means like a time of menstruation, that finish her menstruation. And then on the 8th day, she's going to be tahor. And they translate it, tamei, she's going to be unclean, and she's going to be tahor, clean. And has nothing to do with dirty. Doesn't need to be with that thing. In the In the Hebrew mentality is dualistic. I don't know if you understand that term. It's double. It's not a trilogy or trilogy or three or four. No, it's dual. In which sense? There are two parts. Always is two parts. You know, one is the neshama or the ruach, and the other is the guf or the basar. You know, the guf phisi is in Hebrew, the physical body, the material body. Okay? Then you have two parts. You have the neshama, the spiritual side, the ruach, and you have the physical part. And the Torah teaches you that the body, the guf, the physical part, it is under the competition or under the supervision of the ruach, the neshama. But we, in modern times, we have turned it around. In the Greek way, we have not only divided in two, now it's three. We have a spirit, here, mind, and body. We do not divide the spirit, mind, and spirit. Two is all one. Why? Because that is where the real presence, the Shekinah, is encountered. What happens is that to us today is the physical part who dominates the spiritual part. Interestingly enough, today they have been doing very special experiments and exercises and research. You know, my brother being a neuropsychologist, and he loves about all the brains and things, he keeps telling me and teaching me many things that I am learning through him, where I am so grateful. In that area I didn't know too much, and I am relearning myself, is how we, in our way of thinking and our way of living in our spiritual life, has such influence over our physical part that all the diseases that you find are related to your spiritual situation. You cannot separate your spirituality with your physical part. It's impossible. And many of us will get sick. Remember this, because our spiritual side is low. It's going down to the dream. And we do not realize that we are going to until we see the results in the physical or external, or what I would call it in the symptoms. For example, I remember my father-in-law of blessed memory being a doctor, anesthesiologist. Almost at the end of his life, he used to tell me, son, they say, you need to take care of what is inside you, because that is what provokes diseases. They have now proven that there are people that can heal faster than others only by the attitude that they have. They have been proving that you get cancer faster when you are lower or stressed or spiritually speaking down. There is like an activation, and your physical body get totally open to attack. The psychologists and the neuropsychologists, the doctors, they explain about the different hormones that we produce in our brain, the serotonin, the other normal hormones that we have inside our body. You know, when you are scared, when you have fear, what kind of drug, what I call it, inner drug, adrenaline, you know, And when you produce a lot of adrenaline, what happens? You destroy your system of defense. Now, you say, Rabbi, where do you want to go with Sarat? First with Tazria and then Sarat, because this is this chapter. Talks about Tamei and Tahor. What it really means, Tamei and Tahor, is Tamei means that you are not ready to be in the presence of the king. And Tahor means that you're ready to be present to the king. And what it means Tamei? Tamei means everything that is polluting you and is not allowing you to see clear. And you need to clean. You know, when you are driving and you're in a foggy day, you know, it's very difficult to drive. Or when your car gets foggy, you get a little bit scared and you try to clean the glass. This is the idea about Tamei, foggy. The idea of, it's not about dirt in the sense of we think of, or evil in the other sense. It has even has nothing to do with sin, as we understand. Here there is a great controversy about the woman that she needs to present. At the end of her giving birth, go to the temple and bring some kind of korban to offer to the temple because of hata'ah. And this is another term that's totally misunderstood. We today, in the modern English, we translate hata'ah as a sin. But has nothing to do with sin. Has to do with missing the point. Or, in a better way today, you are not in balance. You're out of balance. And you need to get in balance. When you go through a process very, very strong, you get yourself weak. Or, as some of our sages told us, that we have a vacuum inside us. That vacuum makes us unbalanced. And until we don't feel that vacuum, we are lost. And we do not have control of ourselves. And the repercussion of that lack of control of that internal vacuum, spiritual vacuum, is represented in our physical body. We get ourselves out of place. We lost our capability of understanding. We lost our joy of life. Some of them we become very down, or we become depressed. Today, there is a very popular disease in the world, depression, because it's a lack of balance between you inside, when I call it inside, I am talking about our neshama, and our body, our whole physical, external portion. And until we do not deal with our neshama, we cannot have physical healing. Most of the people who cannot make that balance, they end in the wrong way. Now, that doesn't mean that we got the time we are going to have diseases, and we are going to get sick, or age is taking a root. No, because our bodies, our physical bodies, are not eternal. But something that you need, I'm going to give you only a simple example in order that you see about what I am trying to tell you. But there is something inside you that never gets old. I always say to people, look yourself in the mirror. And sometimes you're going to say, oh, My hair is falling apart. I have a lot of wrinkles. My hair is all the color. My body is not the same that it used to be. But inside, you're still the teenager that you used to be before. And you say, how can be that from one side you see your body that's decaying, and from the other side you feel inside very young? That's your neshama, because your neshama is eternal. That doesn't go away. Your body, physical body, the goof, disappear. That's what becomes tamei. Why? Because the physical body is not any longer presentable to be in the presence of the Creator. What we need to understand is not about bad or good in the way that we understand it. But we need to understand the tamei and tahor in the situation that I am presentable before the Creator. And you need to go through that process. The question is always, when you do something wrong, even you sometimes, you can say, my conscience is very hard, you're not very strong. You don't feel good until you make it right or anything, unless you are a sociopath or a psychopath. But if you're a human being, you have a conscience that tells you about what is right and what is wrong. And this is what our Creator came and gave us to us. Why He chose Israel? He chose Israel for a purpose. To be a nation different to the rest of the nations of the world. For only one reason, and only one reason alone. They were going to be the ones that they were going to be Or Legoyim. They were going to bring Torah to the rest of the world. And what our people have done? Totally the opposite. Instead of making the Torah, Or Legoyim to all the people, they kept it to themselves. They put themselves in a pedestal, and they said, the rest of the people do not need Torah. The rest of the people, they are going to have something simple, because they are not as good or as capable as the others. And that was the mistake, understanding about the kadosh, the kedoshim, the sanctification, the separation. In this book of Vayikra, Leviticus, we start with the inauguration of the Mikdash. Then we are going to go with the process of the Kohenim, what they need to do, the service. Now we are in Tahor and Tamei, what is permissible and what is not permissible. We just saw last week about kashrut laws, why the kashrut is not about eating, it's about what you are. We saw that. And now we are going to go to the next, after the Mesorah, that is Saharat, where is the spiritual disease. Even the Saharat, today, most of the people are going to tell you that was not a physical disease, was a spiritual disease, And they confuse it with leprosy, with the handle disease. No, but it's not any longer that. It is totally the contrary. It is because there was sarat in the inanimated things, like in clothing or in the house. And who was the one that will decree that was sarat or no? Only one, the Kohen, the priest. The priest was the only one that could decide it was right or wrong. And we are going to see the sarat later on. There is a problem of lashon hara. And what it is that? The destruction of the image of God. Because every human being is made to his likeness and image. And every time that we talk against somebody, we are destroying the image of God. Well, I am bringing all those things together for you to start having like a renewal in yourself. That don't get stuck in definitions, but have a living experience. Each one of us has different ways of understanding and seeing. There is no one way, as many people would like to tell you, the religion, they want to put you like a, the cattle. That everybody needs to go through following somebody. No, you do not follow somebody. You follow the Creator, the Borei Olam, blessed be His name. And this is what is the difference between the one that can think and the one that's a follower. The Creator wants us to be thinkers, not followers. He wants to have united, we can talk to each other, we can grow to each other, and we can help each other. And end with this. This parasha is the parasha for the woman. According to our sages, the greatest thing that God created, was the woman. There is nothing greater than the woman as His creation. And the way that they explain it, it is about the process of creation. First, the less special things, or not special things, but less complex, thank you. Less complex, we're creating little by little. Then came the vegetables, then the fish and the aquatic animals, and then came the mammals. First the birds, and then the mammals. And after the mammals, what came? Men. And men was created first, and then Chava. And Chava was the woman, and she was the last thing to be created by God. And the woman has something that we as men, we can never be able to experience, bringing life. Only women have that thing in themselves. And that makes them partners with the Creator in creation. And we as men, we were given the role to be supervisors of the creation and to be protectors of His creation. And the greatest thing that we need to protect is the women. Today, we have lost even that. Today, we have feminists and we have macho men philosophies. Both of them are wrong. Because God created male and female for a reason, in order. And there is nothing more beautiful than that difference. When a man wants to be a woman, goes against the creation order. When a woman wants to be a man, the only thing that she does is decrease herself, lower herself, destroy herself, because she is the higher level. That's only to see you in very simple ways, that every time that we destroy or we go against the order of the Creator, that's when we become tamei. And we, being tamei, we cannot have a relationship with Him. And we need to go back to be tahor, to be fit to have a relationship with the Creator. Shabbat Shalom.